welcome back to my channel. As you can see from the title, I am officially celebrating my 10th year as a travel advisor. And I think one of the first videos I have on here was me doing like a 6-month review. And so much obviously has happened between that first video and a decade in the travel industry. So I am so excited just to kind of give you guys a brief overview of what it has been like to be a travel advisor for the last 10 years. And yeah, so to get started, like I said, I've been a travel advisor for 10 years now. Before I was a travel advisor, I actually owned consignment boutiques. And I actually have a couple of videos, I believe, still on the channel when I had my boutique. But I owned a boutique for about 5 years here on Long Island. Didn't love it. Retail is very tough and it just was not for me, but I did it for 5 years and I was looking for something more. So my big thing was I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to help people. And when I found out I could do that by becoming a travel advisor, I ended up closing my boutique down and just going full time, into this industry, and I've never looked back. And honestly, 10 years in, I can honestly say that I cannot see myself doing anything else. As some of you guys know, I do have a wedding coordination business, but I don't see that as something being separate from my travel business. Because I do destination wedding, and destination weddings is 80% of what I do, I kind of find that or feel like my wedding coordination business here in New York is just an extension of my travel business. So when I say I can't really see myself doing anything else, I am honestly I just can't. So what have I done in the last 10 years? It's been a lot. As you guys know, I do destination weddings, but that's not what I came into the industry doing. I started doing women's group trips, and I was doing women's group trips before I became a travel advisor. Actually, for about 5 years before, I was just doing group trips on Meetup, going all over the world and taking people with me, right? So I kind of had a client base and a business before I really had a business. And, when I became a travel advisor, I was like, I'm just going to do group trips and this was going to be my specialty. And I went to the romance forum and learned more about doing destination weddings, doing honeymoons, and immediately fell in love. Did my first destination wedding to Beaches, Ocho Rios in Jamaica, and never looked back, especially after I saw my commission check. I was like, yeah, this is going to be the niche for me. And I want to say I did my first destination wedding, don't quote me on this, maybe a year or two into the business. So I've been doing weddings for 8 or 9 years now. So started doing weddings, honeymoons. Of course, I do everything else, cruises, all of that good stuff. But my passion obviously is with weddings and honeymoons. I kind of started my niche very early. Besides doing weddings and everything else, of course, I've continued to do group trips. I stopped for a little bit and I had other people doing them for me, but now I'm doing them on my own because I'm doing less group trips. Before I became a travel advisor, we were doing about 10 to 15 a year, and now we're doing about 4. And the group trips that I currently do are just to places I want to go every year. So I'm like, listen, I'm going to Paris every year. I could take some people with me, great, but I'm going every year. So I tend to now just do the groups the same trips over and over, same places that I want to go. Yeah, so I don't do it as many anymore. So I keep, I still am doing my group trips in the last 10 years. That hasn't really changed except just my approach to them. Still doing destination weddings 8 or 9 years into this industry. Some of the other things that I've done in the last decade, I'm currently on the ALG advisory board. So I've been on the advisory board for 2 years. I've been on the CTO advisory board. I've spoken at multiple travel industry events. I've also was a business development manager for a year for a hotel brand. That wasn't for me. I've worked for a travel nonprofit. So I've done a lot of different things while I was still a travel advisor in the travel space, just to kind of, feel out the industry a bit. But honestly, I always come back to being an advisor. And as some of you may know, I also have a host agency. So yes, my company is a hybrid. So we are a traditional travel agency and we are also a host agency. And for those of you who don't know what a host agency is, my company basically train and mentors and provide business help for other travel advisors. So for our host agency, we actually specialize in brand new agents. So we have a lot of training, a lot of all of that stuff for new agents. And we usually have around 80 travel advisors throughout the US. We kind of fluctuate between like 80 to 90. I like it being small, honestly, because I do know all of my advisors. So I think we started that branch of our business in 2017. So not only am I still 10 years into this business as a travel advisor still, I also am a host. So I do train other people to become travel advisors as well. Side note, I used to be a part of an organization called CCRA. I was a chapter director for both New York and Long Island for years. And with that, I was also someone who mentored and trained other travel advisors who were not under me. So a lot has happened in a decade. I do love the training aspect. I've also had personal consulting clients as a travel advisor, but with me doing so many things, I always come back to this. I always come back to being an advisor and helping clients. Yeah, because I love it. So in the 10 years, I've also been throughout the world, as you could imagine. Most memorable place, well, my favorite place now is Paris. Like I said, I go to Paris every year, sometimes twice a year. But this industry has enabled me to visit some of the places I've never thought in a million years that I would get a chance to visit, such as Israel, which low-key has the best food, like anywhere, food and wine. And people always argue with me about that. And I'm like, if you've never been to Israel, can't debate it. So going to Israel was amazing. And again, something I never thought I would ever get to experience. I went to, I'm probably going to say this incorrectly because I mispronounce everything, but La Mamounia in Morocco, where I had a moment. That's when I felt like, for the first time, and La Mamounia is usually ranked like #1 hotel in the world or one of the top few hotels in the world, like in terms of luxury. And I was staying in a room that was like $5,000 to $10,000 a night, and I literally started bawling when I got to my room. I'm like, this is insane. Like, I'm at this hotel as a guest of this hotel, right? Like, not like I didn't pay for it to be there. They invited me there. And like my career enabled me to be here and, be in a place where I think we were there for a few days, where people spend their whole lives to be able to visit this place. And the hotel wanted me there because I'm a travel advisor. So once I got to my room, I definitely started bawling. I was like, I cannot believe this is my life. So that was an amazing experience as well. I've been on a river cruise again, something that I never thought someone my age in my early 40s would have a chance to experience. And I went with my husband. So it was for his 40th birthday. And again, we were guests of the cruise line, right? So people spend their entire life saving up to go on a river cruise or experience, what we experience. And the cruise line was basically saying, hey, we want you to come and experience our product. Can't beat it, right? So that was amazing experience. Where else did I go I've been to some places that I didn't enjoy, and I won't say. I just personally, when I'm dealing with clients or consulting with clients, I would let them know if that is some place that they want to go. But I've also been to some places where I'm like, okay, this is not the place for my clients, or this is not the hotel that I would send my clients to. Most beautiful place I've ever been, Amalfi Coast. Stayed in Positano. And it wasn't so much as a travel advisor, because I was doing a group trip. I took a bunch of people before COVID, to Italy. And on the back end, my girlfriend and I, we were like, oh, we're already here. Let's go to Amalfi for a couple of days. I think we were down there for almost a week. And So it wasn't because I was a travel advisor, but I was in Italy for work, and I ended up going to Positano, and it was the most spectacular place I've ever seen in my life. Highly recommend it. If I could just fly into Amalfi, I would, because that is my favorite place in Italy. But again, I still give credit to being a travel advisor for giving me that opportunity to experience some place like that. So yes, I've been to so many beautiful places. I've made so many incredible memories. I've had jobs and been on boards. I was on the board for the CTO, for the Caribbean Tourism, authorities. Like I've been on a lot of back-end industry things, but I always come back to my love for being a travel advisor. Like I absolutely love what I do. And I also equally love being a host where I am helping other people grow their business and giving people opportunity to experience this business, because it's been so life-changing for me. I love the fact that I can kind of help others experience the same thing as well. So I didn't want to do a really long video, but I just wanted to come on here and say, for anyone who is thinking about becoming a travel advisor, I tried every year, wasn't successful, but I tried every year to kind of document my experience. And looking back, like when I did my first video, as being 6 months in to now being a decade in, I'm not honestly sure that I thought back then that I would still be in this industry, because it is hard, right? When you're running any type of business or learning any business, I just never thought like, oh, I'll be doing this for 10, 20 years. But the time went by so fast, and being 10 years in now, I'm literally like, there's nothing else I would want to do. Even if I decide, I completely love wedding coordination here in New York. Like I love it. I'm like, I could even see myself like not doing this in 10 years, not doing wedding coordination in 10 years. I could absolutely see myself still being a travel advisor. So I'll probably still be a coordinator as well, though. We'll see. I need to start documenting that journey. But I absolutely love what I do. I think this is the greatest. Being in just the travel industry and hospitality is the most amazing industry you can get into. If you are thinking about taking the leap and becoming a travel advisor, I absolutely recommend it. Like I said, my company is a host. So if you are interested in learning more, you can definitely send me a message. But even if you do decide to go with another agency, make sure it is a reputable host agency and not an MLM. And you can actually go to hostagencyreviews.com. They were the website that I found my first host. And it's funny because I'm recording this about 2 hours before I do a panel for them. I'm now one of their sponsors for Host Week, which is the craziest like full circle moment. Like I found my host agency on this website, and now I'm sponsoring it, and I'm helping other people on the site, become travel advisors as well. So again, make sure you do your research, make sure you're working with a reputable host agency, but do it. This industry is absolutely amazing, and you're taking it from someone who's been doing this 10 years now, full time. Like, it's the best decision I've ever made in my life. And I will definitely be here in 20 years giving you guys an update, because unless I'm doing full wedding coordination, I couldn't see myself doing anything else. And I still can't see myself just doing wedding coordination. I love doing destination weddings. I love doing honeymoons. I love helping clients travel the world, and I love helping people become travel advisors too. So I'm here to stay. I'm definitely here to stay, but I'm in such a great place. I absolutely love what I do for a living. And yeah, 10 years down, it's crazy, but I'm super excited to be celebrating my 10-year anniversary. And I just wanted to come on here to tell you guys, if you're thinking about doing it, absolutely do it. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme, but it is and can be quite lucrative. So just like any business, stick with it like I did 10 years. And it is the most fabulous industry you can be a part of. So that's it. That's my little 10-year anniversary rant I wanted to do here on my channel. Again, if you're thinking about becoming a travel advisor, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me, let me know. I would love to help. Or, I can always create another video with some frequently asked questions about becoming a travel advisor. That may be my next video. I really do want to do more wedding videos on here because I love doing wedding videos to help people who are doing destination weddings. But I feel like I also need to start doing more travel advisor videos too, all while running 2 companies with a toddler. It's a lot, but I'm trying. But that's it, guys. So I will see you in the next video. And again, if you have any suggestions on upcoming videos or titles or anything that you want me to talk about on this channel, please let me know as well. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.